shall cross the barren desert, but ye shall not die of thirst. Ye shall wander far in safety, though ye do not know the way. Ye shall speak your words to foreign men, and they will understand. You shall see the face of God and live. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. And blessed are your poor, for the kingdom shall be theirs. Blessed are you that weep and mourn, for one day you shall laugh. And if wicked men insult and hate you, all because of me, blessed, blessed are you. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. Christos rождається, славіть Його. Christ is born, let us glorify Him. This is Father Basil Malovany again, and we had quite the storm where I live in Saskatchewan. This morning, it was called a whiteout, where you couldn't see even a foot in front of you. So it's winter in Canada. This is what we expect for winter time. We just got to get used to it, I guess, after we're living here so many years. So today, I want to talk about a few things, but I guess I just want to start with talking about St. John Paul II. As we know, the Pope who died 15 years ago or 20 years ago or so, who was made a saint. And, one of his biggest phrases that he would use in his words of wisdom to the people that he talked to over his years as a pope was, be not afraid, or do not be afraid. And I was just kind of thinking about that in today's world, how we are living so much in fear. And not just the fear of the COVID pandemic that is among us today. It has changed many, many aspects of our lives because of our, fear of just being around other people, and we don't know who has it and who doesn't have it, and if we get it, are we going to get sick? Are we going to be hospitalized? Could we even die from it? So that's one of the fears that is very prevalent in today's world. And I think the masking and the social distancing and the hand washing is going to go on for a long, long time after this COVID pandemic subsides a little bit. But not just that kind of fear, just the fear of the uncertainty of the world today. COVID will come and go, but, how does it affect the economic factors of the world? How does it affect our families? How does it affect the environment and this our work and jobs. I think one of the things that COVID is definitely going to affect in our lives is the way many people work. I think, working from home, working in an environment where there's no other people around you. A lot of people are now working businesses from the internet. I think that's going to be a big, big change in the future as more and more people start working from home, from their little offices and whatever company they may be working for. A lot of maybe independent companies or private companies people working for themselves. I think that's going to be more and more the norm these days because of the fear of COVID. And how's that going to affect us in this world? How's that going to affect our social skills, our society as a whole? Because, we are in a part of the time of the world where this has never happened before. We've always been social beings, and this is how God created us, to be social beings, to be with one another, to, even in the church, to gather together to praise and worship God every Sunday. This has been the norm for the 2,000 years of Christianity. But is that going to really be the norm anymore? With online services, with internet services, people are going to be watching online more and more. And as a priest here in Canada, I've been doing online services all the time. But you still would like the people to gather together to receive Christ, to receive the Eucharist as much as possible. But I think that the reality is that there's going to be more and more people sitting at home and watching the services online just because of that fear that they have, not just of COVID, but like I said, of other things. And once COVID is done, who knows what's going to come after this. But is that change that is happening in our society, going back to St. John Paul II's quote, do not fear, So what he's basically saying is trust in God in all of our situations in life. So if you're going to be working from home instead of going to work in some, office with other people, trust in God that this is the way that, the world is working right now, and you're still, loved by God. You're still loved by your family and friends, and somehow we could still communicate with one another, even if it's not exactly the way that we grew up doing, and maybe our socialization is going to be a little different from now on. Maybe our ways of buying and selling and do so much more is going to be done on the internet. There's going to be so much more online commerce, and we just have to get used to that. That's one of the things that in our society we might just have to say, okay, because of the way the world is going now, I might have to change a little bit of how I used to live my life. And instead of going to these stores, instead of going to these big box stores, I'm going to, start ordering things online, and I have to do what I have to do just to be safe, just to be sure that I'm going to be safe for my family and my friends. And same with working from home. Not everyone can work from home, obviously, and there are many jobs that you have to be out in the public. But for those that have to work from home now because of certain reasons, maybe that change is going to be okay. We don't know. It's funny how we think that we control our lives and what we want to do and what we have to do in this world, but yet God is the one in control. So we have to trust that these changes that are happening in our world today, these changes that, may have started from COVID, but I think even before COVID, as we know, the world was changing rapidly with technology, with computers and the internet, and everything is changing so fast. We have to trust in God that change, even through all those changes, He's still going to be there to guide us. He's still going to be there to help us with any issues we have, with our relationships with one another, and this to protect us from any dangerous parts of these changes as well. Because as we know, when there's change, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people who try to, even scam other people, like with the internet and with the technology we have. You're gonna have people who try to make life difficult for others. And I'm sure all of you have had that happen to you, where you get these weird emails trying to scam you, or phone calls, or whatever, texts that from these people who are not, who want to harm you, So we still have to figure out the wisdom. We have to learn from that and know the difference between those that want to harm us and those that, do not want to harm us. But at the same time, the internet can be very beneficial to our world today and to the church and to spreading the word of God. I'm using it right now as I've never thought before COVID that I'd ever live stream, that I'd ever do podcasts, that I'd ever, use technology the way I've been doing the last couple of years. And we can use technology for good purposes. There's no doubt about that. So we have to remember that as well, that change is not always bad, as long as we still have, as long as we are still doing it for God's purposes. Okay. So if we are doing these things for evil purposes, if we are doing these things to control other people and to, harm other people, then of course it's not acceptable by God. But if we are using technology to make a living, to help other people in any way in their life, to grow in our spiritual life, using online forums, using online liturgies and prayer services and Bible studies, that's wonderful. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, the way technology is helping us. And even with meetings, there's so much now online with meetings and with the job opportunities. and that's okay. We have to accept that this is part of the change that's happening in our world today. We don't have to be scared. As I said, we still have to be attentive to those people out there who might have bad intentions, but we will know, pray to the Holy Spirit to get to know those people right away so we can, block them out of our lives, that we can not let them control and scam us and do evil things to us, So I think technology is wonderful. I'm not going to say, go back to the days of before we had internet and before we had computers. We can't. This is our reality right now, And as a priest, I have to learn how to use this technology for the benefit of my church, for the benefit of my ministry, and even to maybe use that for economic purposes, to earn a living, and I haven't asked for money yet to doing these podcasts and to maybe eventually doing video podcasts and doing services online. But there's an opportunity there for sure. There's absolutely an opportunity to use this as a form to make a living out of, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. I might, I'm also a teacher, and it was really difficult during this time of COVID to know whether I should go subbing, and because we at the beginning of the COVID period, we didn't know how transmissible it was, and if I was going to sub, how that would affect my priesthood and stuff like that. But now, I think I'm thinking of going back to teaching part-time in schools, to sub again, and this too, that it's a way to, of course, economically, it's to help my family, but also this to spread the gospel. Every time we work with other people, every time we communicate with other people, we have that opportunity to be Jesus in their lives, to be that person who can be the one that listens, the one that prays for them, the one that is this there for them at their time of need. And teachers have a very important role in society, especially today, because of this fear that I've been talking about. So many people, and I'm sure students and parents and teachers, are all fearful about this, and school administrators. So we have a big role to play in schools to calm people down, and to say, okay, we have to maybe change a little bit how we do things from the past, but that's not always a bad thing. Of course, there's going to be online learning as well, many opportunities for that for those parents and teachers who want to do that. So, I guess my message for everyone today is what St. John Paul II said many years ago: be not afraid. This pandemic has changed the world. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We can't deny that. But maybe our world had to change anyways. It was inevitable that we had to change, and we just have to know that God is still in control. Okay? So as long as we understand that, as long as we understand that God is still in control of everything, it's not going to matter where we work from. if we work from home, if we do online activities, if we do, have to change how we used to live life. It's okay. It's okay to do that as long as we know God is in control and He will still help us overcome any issues that we may have during this time of change. So, I love doing these podcasts, and I don't know how much time I'll have to do them in the next few weeks if I start teaching again, subbing, but I will try to do it regularly, and God bless you. Have a good week ahead, and I will talk to you soon.